live. You're all alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. My name is Sean Williams, aka the President, and you're listening to the Safe Room. We are a platform, a safe space for entrepreneurs and business owners here in Toronto to share their personal and professional stories. And today we have a really great guest with us today. She is a dedicated community builder, successful business owner, and the founder of the Canada Plug, and also the host of Leading Ladies Connect. Listen, this woman is doing everything. Basically, she is a trooper in what she does. Her multifaceted background makes her a relatable entrepreneur and conference speaker with expertise in community building, entrepreneurship, and fostering connections among women. So, all the ladies out there, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. And this guest I have today, she is like, again, a trooper. She is for the ladies. She's all about female empowerment, helping female entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only ABIMBOLA. ABIMBOLA, Abby, how are you doing?
Very well, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing good. Like I mentioned before we hopped on, my room was freezing. But now like we're steady like getting back into the nice little heat. I got my little heater in here, so we're good. But I mean, it's been a long day. I'm so glad to have this conversation with you. I know we've been going back and forth in terms of like how we're gonna set this up, but I'm glad that we're here. That's all that matters. We're here in the moment.
Right. I'm
I
happy
love.
to be here. Looking
Yep.
forward to the conversation. I know it's all vibes and, cool evening, just chit chatting with friends. So, yeah, here for it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I mentioned, we're gonna talk a lot about what you do. We're gonna talk about a little bit about Leading Ladies Connect, what that is. We're gonna talk about the Canada Plug, some of the work you do for that. Like I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, she does a lot. Like I'm in the same group chat with her, and like I'm telling you, the amount of messages I get, she is 24/7, 365. That's not a joke. That is literally what she does. She's someone who's determined, persistent, and I love to be around people like that. That means they have a very like focused mindset. They have a vision. So we're definitely going to get into the details of everything that you do, Abby. But I do want to start off with our opening segment. It's been 2 weeks since I've done this. It's crazy to believe. I didn't get to do a live conversation last week. So it's been 2 weeks since I've done this segment, but
Right.
we're going to do it again. It is the hot seat. So all I have for you, Abby, is 4 questions. And I want you to answer them to your best abilities. Okay.
Fresher. Fresher. Bring it.
Trust me, like I say it's the hot seat, but most of the time it's like it's very lukewarm, so don't worry.
Right.
All right. So the first question here is outside the work that you do, tell me something about yourself in one sentence.
I would like to consider myself an explorer. Like when I'm not working, I am a huge fan of exploring different foods. I try to go to as many different background restaurants as much as I can, like just trying food from other culture. Because growing up, I mean, I was just exposed to mostly Nigerian food and maybe just a bit of Chinese. But since I moved to Canada, of course, you're exposed to way more people. So learning about their culture through food is something that I actually like doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. What would you say is like the best piece of food that you've come encounter with? Maybe it could be at a restaurant, or maybe it's like a food from a particular culture. Like, what would you say was the last piece of food that you were just kind of like, wow, like this is amazing?
Last thing I've had that is like outside my normal stuff would be I really like the Indian samosa. It's
Mm.
like my go-to comfort food, but I really like it because it's very easy to eat, I think. And I find it like flavorful as well. So I would say that that was the last thing that I had.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a samosa, man. A samosa, like you can't go wrong with it. I've yet to taste a samosa that was like mid or like mediocre. Like a samosa is like a definite hit when it comes to like my food and what I consume. So like I definitely second that motion. All right. Well, I want to go on to the next question. What
Yeah.
is your biggest goal that you want to accomplish that you haven't yet?
Okay, so I think the biggest goal for me as an individual would be establishing like a social enterprise, like what we're doing already with Leading Ladies Connect. But my goal is to make it as global as possible. So doing work from like Canada to Africa and taking it to like other continents, maybe like Asia, just for us to begin to have clusters of women that are like doing great work, want to be in the company of other accomplished women, or even helping other women who are not yet as accomplished. But just bringing together communities there is what my big vision would be. So we have like Leading Ladies Connect in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, in North America, and so on. That's my biggest dream.
I love that. And I know, like I mentioned before, we're going to talk about Leading Ladies Connect and, how that got all started. But a little follow up question: is there like maybe a dream location that you would love to have, the next Leading Ladies Connect conference in the future?
Maybe we can go to Japan. I would really love to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I feel like it's like the futuristic place to be. Like they're so on point, they're so way ahead with the technology, with the people there. So I think hosting a Leading Ladies Connect in Japan would be one of the things to tick off the bucket list, I think.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, especially the ladies, I hope you heard that. I hope you heard that.
Yeah,
Listen, you tapping
size.
in. If you're not tapping in, you might need to tap in now because I be saying, listen, Japan, it's
Where
in the
we're
future.
going.
I love that. I love that. Okay, next one. An interesting fact that you rarely share about yourself.
Well, I think one of the most it's an interesting fact I'd like to share. I feel like a lot of people that know me or might have like experienced me can tell. I'm very big on fashion, and I'm very big on like being bold, being colorful, being expressive with fashion. I'm already kind of like chasing that dream because, like, for example, I do a lot of like importing like Afrocentric African pieces and bringing them like to this side of the world because like a lot of people have not really experienced African fashion. So I think that that's like one of my very interesting facts. I'm very intrigued by fashion, colors, prints, patterns, things like that. I really like that. I guess who knows, I might just have a career in fashion and maybe designing and making pieces in the future. But let's see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely see that because even when going through your feeds on Instagram, I definitely see again you have like the vibrant colors, the patterns definitely stick out. So like you're someone who like again values yourself when it comes to how you dress, and you want people to see you like the professional that you are. So I mean, I fully commend that. I think honestly I could see something for like Leading Ladies Connect where you kind of do like maybe like a fashion show that could be like a little stint within the conference, and you could tie
Okay,
it
go
into like
Sean,
some
coming
like
with the ideas. Okay. Maybe we can actually put together a fashion show where we have women of like diverse backgrounds, just strutting their stuff on the runways. We'll see. We'll
mm,
see.
hey, listen, if you need a host for that fashion show, I'm putting my name in the ballot right
Don't
now.
sit down.
All right. I mean, I think that could definitely happen, but I love that too because again, I feel like I'm the same person when it comes to like going to different events. I value myself in terms of like how I dress. I want people to see that I could be professional, but very approachable too. Like I don't want it to be where you see me dressed and it's like I don't know if I can walk up to Sean. It's like maybe he's like too dapper, and it's like I don't feel like it's just I can't approach it. Like no, like I'm an approachable guy. You can talk to me about anything, but I also want you to know that like I want to put out like my best game. I want to put my best game forward. So I feel like we both kind of share that similarities or that.
Yeah, and I'm going to just throw two things in as we're having this conversation because there's one particular thing that has stayed with me for a while. One of my mentors, when I was younger, used to say something about dressing up, which was when you get dressed, ensure that you have something statement on, because that thing would be your conversation starter. Like for example, I'm wearing this pair of red glasses. I can't count how many people today. I was at a conference. I'm like, oh my God, I love your glasses. Oh my God, the color is so bold. Oh my God. So, like, always ensure that you have something extra that would just make people be like, oh my God, oh, where did you get that from? And then the other thing I wanted to say was, yes, Sean is very right about his fashion, because I think the day I saw you, you were wearing like a two-piece blue suit and you were hard to miss in the room because I kept looking, like, I was like, I like that person. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For those who don't know exactly what Abby's talking about, I got the chance to do some interviews at a event here in Toronto almost a
Right.
month ago, and like I told myself, like I need to dress up. And the funny thing about that, I went to a VIP reception the day before, and I underdressed, and I felt so guilty. I'm like, nah, tomorrow I'm about to shut the whole place down. I'm about
And
to
you
come.
did, my friend. You did. It
I
was
mean,
really nice, really smart, dapper. I really liked it.
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right. Well, let's go on to the final question for this hot seat segment. What is your personal safe room? So, what is a safe space that can just give you that level of authenticity? I can't speak today. Level of authenticity. What
Yes.
space could that be? It could be physical. It could be mental. What is your personal safe room?
So I would say that my personal safe room would be home, honestly, and that would be like in the company of like friends, family. I feel like a safe space is just being in the company of somebody that you really love or care about, that makes you just, be yourself and let your guard down. I think that's what I would consider as my safe room. And of course, speaking of physical spaces, my room is my safest space, because that's like where I can just forget everything else that has happened outside, and just get into my bed and be like a little princess in my bed. So I guess I would say that those are the places I consider safe spaces.
I mean, listen, you're not the first one to mention about their rooms being their safe spaces, but I feel like we resonate with that a lot. I mean, for me, I think my safe space is like completely different to someone else's, but I feel like even someone saying that their room is their safe space, there's nothing wrong with that because you allow yourself to basically be like in your inner thoughts, really let yourself go. If there's something that you want to say that you really couldn't say in a different setting, your room allows you to just be, expressful about yourself. So I feel like that's super important. And I feel like even sometimes we get some of our best thoughts or best ideas in our safe spaces, wherever it may be, whether it's like inside your home or maybe, at a different location with nature, at the gym, the library, maybe if it's inside your car. I feel like the whole point of the safe space that you have is to that you feel comfortable. And that's what it's all about here for this show, too. Comfortability. I want people to feel comfortable having these conversations. I don't want them to personify themselves to something that they're not. Like I try to do the same thing. I have to keep reminding myself, like, be yourself. Like I think a lot of times people assume that, like, man, like Sean is this like very like classy professional dude. And like I am, but I'm also a goofball. I'm also a major
Right.
goofball. So I have to keep remind myself like it's okay. Like at a younger age, I did not feel comfortable to, but now it's like okay, let me just let go. So I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, those are all the questions for the hot seat segment. So I mean, just a little warm
Woo.
up. That was like the little appetizer. Now it's the meat and potatoes. Now.
Oh my God.
No, now we're just heating up, ladies and gentlemen. So we're now gonna get into it. But before we do, if you are tuning in right now, just want to remind you that you're listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. We're here with our guest, ABIMBOLA, who is I mean, where should I start? I mean, she's the founder of almost everything. The founder of the Canada Plug, host of Leading Ladies Connect Conference, a successful entrepreneur, business owner. We're definitely going to get into everything, starting with Leading Ladies Connect. So, Abby, I do want to start off just how did Leading Ladies Connect first originate, and what does it mean even now to have such a growing and thriving community to over 4,000? And it could probably even more than 4,000. You could correct me, but when I saw that on your website, I was like, my goodness, I can understand why you're trying to go global with this, because like it's definitely plausible. So like, just how did Leading Ladies Connect first start?
So thank you, Sean, again. I think Leading Ladies Connect started as it was just my want for like community. I found myself in Montreal, in Quebec, in 2018. So when I moved here, I didn't really know anyone, and I was just like, very business minded from Nigeria. I'm originally from Nigeria, and it was just my desire to, create a community for underrepresented women, especially because we have like limited access to resources, to opportunities, and also to create spaces where women can actually come together, collaborate, and also share resources that would, of course, amplify our voices. That was what like birthed like Leading Ladies for me. And it started with a brunch of just about 11 of us. And it has grown from there. I think everybody was just kind of interested because like we just posted a few pictures of like the pink brunch, and everybody's like, oh, what's this? You guys look so pretty. And then it was just those brunches. And then it has just given birth to like so many other things. We've like hosted vision boarding sessions for women. We've hosted like community impact initiatives like feeding the homeless downtown. We've done so much in such a little space that I'm so grateful sometimes, like the amount of work that we've done as a little group of women. So, I mean, that's like what is really humbling and inspiring. Sometimes when I just think about it, we've supported like women in the community as well, whether it's with like tuition or even house rent, having that little safe space, if I would use those words, too, for some of the women. You have women who maybe, for example, might be going through like domestic violence, and they reach out to you to be like, look, Abby, I need help with this. This is happening to me at home. I don't know who to tell. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to help you, but I can direct you to who can help you. So I guess that's the whole essence of the community. And, day by day, we keep growing. And, I'm hoping that we continue to grow. 4,000 is just the beginning of, the amount of women that we've impacted. I'm hoping that we actually do go global with this.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of things I kind of took away from even what you mentioned. First things first, you mentioned like a group of women and how it's built into a community. I want to just ask quickly as a follow up. It's like, is it just you that's kind of like managing everything, or has it been over time you've kind of been able to have a collective of like women who have kind of just helped you with certain processes, whether it's like smaller events or even like maybe, sharing other resources with other women within the Leading Ladies Connect community? Like, how does it all started? Like, was it just like you, and even to this day, you've kind of been able to kind of manage and administer everything, or has it been where you've kind of, you know, kind of built your own team?
Okay, so honestly, at the beginning, it was just me. Of course, with the idea, you're the social media manager, you're the you're the errand girl, you're the CEO, you're the founder, you're everything.
Brutal.
But I feel that along the way, quite a number of women have helped me. Sometimes some of them come on board, like when we have specific projects, and then we probably set up a team that would like oversee that project. So for now, it's just about like two of us who like really bounce off ideas on like how can we make Leading Ladies Connect a global brand. However, like for most things that we do on a needed basis, we do have people that actually do volunteer their time, their efforts, their resources to actually make it a success. Like for example, we have our conference coming up in March next year, March 1st. So you guys are all invited. We already kind of like have a team of people who are already indicating interest in like, okay, I would like to volunteer to handle like the programs. I would like to volunteer to do decor. Okay, I could do a bit of work with the sponsorship and partnership. So that way we're like growing by the day. But for now, we don't have like any like employed staff of leading ladies, but we do have like teams, and we have like a couple of people who do like a bit of advisory and support to us as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. The reason why I want to even bring that up, because I think that is sort of like a, I don't want to say formula, but it's sort of like a structure that usually if you try to do with a group of people, and again, I don't want to generalize. For some people, it may work, but for most of the time, it's like it can be very tricky because again, if you have a group of people who's like, oh yeah, like let's put this together, but if the commitment's not really there, or maybe like that spark and that passion does not sustain, then eventually there could be like issues like maybe communication, talking things through, or if people really want to put all their time and effort into a certain idea or initiative. So, I mean, to hear how, again, you got started off, you kind of did everything. You were like the one woman show, and
Look.
over time, yeah, it was like, no, listen, I'm in the same pocket with you, so I feel your pain. I feel your pain. But I mean, even now, where it's like, you know what, we still have a couple people, but when it's time to like put out those big events or get down to business, we have people in our community that will volunteer their resources. Like, oh, I can do this, I can handle that. Like you mentioned with the example for the next conference in March, how people are saying like, oh, I can handle the pamphlets, I can handle the registration. You need help with the marketing and promoting, like I could be an ambassador. I think that's very beautiful. And it's again something you don't really see as often because it really shows how you've been able to really like again build a community, that community value, that community trust. I think it's such a strong trait about what you do and how you're able to bring people together and pull off such amazing things. So like I just want to say like I really commend you. That's something I'm even trying to kind of do for myself. I'm hoping I can be part of that. Obviously, I want my own team because Lord knows I can't do everything by myself. But
Right.
I,
But
I,
just
yeah, go
speaking
ahead.
into what you're saying with like building your own team, because the truth is, most times, and as you would know as a business owner, as yourself, a lot of times people like the idea, people like the vision, but when it's time to actually like put in the work, I know that most times people cannot carry your vision like you have the vision. So it's okay for them to maybe want to volunteer once in a while. There's no commitment. Like, of course there's a commitment, but like there's no obligation, let me use that word. It's better for them to come on like a needed basis, and then of course we remain in the community. And then, because if there are too many people who are not like fully committed to the vision, of course life happens, they could be, but they might not be able to give 100%. So it's better for them to actually volunteer, maybe, okay, for the next 5 months we'll be working on this project, that is fine, versus like when they feel like, oh, it's like a job, they have to, so I think I prefer that model until when we really find, like I said, it's just one other person that is like with me, because she's like all the way in, like, look, anything you want to do, just count me in. So I guess that model works for us at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And like you specified, it's not to say that there's an obligation where you have to be there like 24/7, but when, having someone come on, for a certain period of time, it's always great because again, it's a little bit more easier to kind of put things into perspective, get those deliverables done. And again, it's always good to have that one person on your team like, listen, I'm in with it. I'm like through the thick of the mud, like I'm down with you. It's a ride or die take. So if you
Yeah,
need anything, like I got you.
you're funny.
Mm. I appreciate it. Honestly, I don't even see like a lot of people don't even think of me as the funny type. I don't even think of myself as a funny type. I think I'm just real. I just say it like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, going on to my next question, and this is something I kind of want to break down a little bit deeper. Is do you believe female entrepreneurs and business owners have set a new standard for the business ecosystem? And what I mean by that is like in terms of how they navigate through it or even how they're utilizing, the strength of each other to, build off collaborations, be able to grow their business substantially from a financial standpoint, but also from a community standpoint. Like, do you feel like this new era or this new like generation or this current generation of female entrepreneurs and business owners have set that new standard for like moving forward?
Absolutely. Look, if you give a woman something to do, she would do it two times better. And you know what I always try to do is give women opportunities, because in terms of how we prioritize community, collaboration, social impact, when a woman is thinking, she's not thinking for just herself, she's thinking for others, right? So I guess this new era of, like, resilience, creativity, impact is a yes for me. Like, and it will always be a yes for me, because I feel like if women invest more in women, there will be so much more that we can do. Versus, like, of course, nothing against the men, but it's just that women do things, they do things excellently. So yes, there are a lot of female entrepreneurs that I interact with every single day of my life, and I feel like we're embracing this new era of, look, women are also building like businesses, women are putting structures to their work, women are thinking of building for like generations to come. So yes, let's support women entrepreneurs as much as we can, because like I said, it's very clear now that we're not missing out in the ecosystem. And shout out to a lot of women who helped me, like Melissa of Mobellum, who is like doing a lot of work to ensure, like, there are 100 Black businesses in STEM by 2025. Think about that kind of inspiration, and that's just one woman. Imagine what would happen if we like put in so much more into like many other women founders. I guess, the world is just like the starting point, and the sky is the limit, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, like over time, we've seen so much female entrepreneurs and business owners really take the mantle and really stepped up and change the game in a way. At one point, when it came to just entrepreneurship for females, sometimes it was just getting their foot in the door. It didn't matter how it was. It's just like, let me just get in the room. And
Right.
now it's like, now that I'm inside the room, I start to renovate it. Now I got to, change up the walls and the design, and or better yet, like we're leveling up. We're leveling up. Now it's like we were on the first floor. Now we're on the fifth floor. Like we're moving on up. And I think it's really great to see, especially again, seeing the work that you've done so far. And something you even brought up too is that you guys don't only just talk about on just like how can you build your business, but it's kind of like a sister circle in a way where it's like if there's anything that you need like help or like resource it's in, it's like if we may not know it, we may know someone else that solve that problem or address that issue. So we'll push you to that person. Again, it's a very like village mentality when it comes to lead and ladies connect. That's the kind of like analogy I kind of see. It's like it takes a village to get everything done. There's not like one versus all. It's not like every woman for themselves. It's really building together as one. And I think that's very beautiful.
Yeah, because like I mentioned to you, like women investing in women. I mean, I might not be able to give you $20,000, $50,000 for your business, but I'm able to share resources with you. For example, there are funding opportunities, there are grants out there, there are ways that I can help you improve your business, getting you into rooms that maybe on a normal day you might have not had the opportunity to. Those are just the little things that we can actually do to uplift ourselves. Like, there's no gatekeeping, there's no reason for that. I feel like most women, there are different types of women, but there are some women that when they get into the room, their intention is to keep the door open so that other people can come in. So, and that's the kind of community or tribe that I'm trying to build, which is like, I have this opportunity, come along with me and let's all win together.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned tribe, and like the first word that came in my mind was tribalism in a way where it's like you have your side of people where it's like they're doing this and a side of people doing that. And I feel like you mentioned, there are some female entrepreneurs who, when they step into a room, they're looking to keep that door open for the next group of women, which is great. And then there's some who are saying, you know what, like I really just want to, succeed in my own thing. But I think it's not trying to conflict it with both parties, but kind of understand where both parties are coming from and say like there can be a middle ground, because like you do need those women to be in a room to get more women in the room, but also those who are already in the room, you want to see them succeed and get on to the next level. So maybe if they get into a much bigger room, a much larger room, then maybe they say, you know what, I'm seeing success. I'm doing good in my business. I kind of want to give back now. I want to now help the next upcoming, female entrepreneur in, a resource. Maybe it's in funding or finding a mentor or, a potential partnership or collab, get new clients, contracts, something like that. I think understanding the two sides of things and not trying to put them within a conflict of interest is it's very important. Like, and the reason again I use this analogy of tribalism, I'm a huge wrestling fan. There's people who are like, oh, like wrestling's fake, but it's like, no, it's not fake. It's just you don't understand. It's an art form, and it's like, bro, like I'm not trying to go with the back and forth nonsense and everything like that. It's like, can we just both understand both aspects of the thing and just come to a middle ground like that? I feel like that's something we have to start doing more in terms of like just how we see things. But I think even the way you gave your explanation about leading ladies connect, just what your vision and just what your mentality is, I think again it's amazing. It's truly amazing. I'm really glad that we're seeing something like leading ladies connect in the world, because I feel like we need to have more of that.
We sure do, because I mean, when one woman wins, every woman wins. Whether we acknowledge it or not, I feel like another woman's success is not your failure. And if you're able to make opportunities available for another person, then do it by all means.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, we talked a good amount about leading ladies connect. I kind of want to switch gears now into the Canada plug. Now, this one I found very interesting. Going into the Canada plug, so the stuff that you thought, I thought like it was, oh man, this is like really dope. This is really really dope. So I mean, you started the Canada plug to basically like help out with shipping products, and it wasn't just products from Canada to Nigeria. It would be like vice versa. So like I wanted to know again how it got started, and also if I'm just a little bit curious, did it have to do with an idea, or like did the idea of starting the Canada plug, was this something that had to do with your childhood and how you grew up, and maybe just over time you had this in the back of your head and thought, you know what, one day I want to put this to action? Or was it something that maybe around the time of leading ladies connect, you thought, I want to do something different but still give back to my people? Like, just how did the Canada plug first got started, and did it tie back to a previous memory, maybe your childhood or maybe a couple years back?
Well, I mentioned earlier that I'm originally from Nigeria. And honestly, one thing that's very synonymous with us Nigerians is hard work. I feel like growing up in Nigeria gave me the opportunity to actually be, you know, like trained for life. Because, like, if you can survive in Nigeria, trust me, you can survive anywhere in the world. So being surrounded by, hardworking parents, having the opportunity to actually experience my dad. My dad was actually a businessman as well. So the kind of plug for me was, of course, born out of a need. Because, like, when I moved here, I was finding it very difficult to send things back home to Nigeria or even receive things from Nigeria. I mean, there was a time I spent almost $300 sending documents back to my mom in Nigeria. And I just started to like, why is shipping so expensive? Why is it so inaccessible? Why is it that people here are, it wasn't the best for me, and I thought I was spending so much. So that's why I started looking at bridging the gap between the two countries. Like, how can I support like Nigerians in Canada, and how can I support Nigerians in Nigeria, or even Nigerians in Canada who wants to send things back home to their family members? And that's how it kind of started. Like, we started shipping like smaller parcels every week. And the need and the requests just kept growing. People kept telling their friends about it. And I think to a large extent, of course, there has been challenges, but it had also given me an opportunity to actually give some other people opportunities to be employed, to be able to work, and to be able to, help people meet their needs, whether they're trying to bring something from Nigeria here or even trying to send things back to Nigeria.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And a follow-up question I had is like, what would be like the most common, I guess, products or goods that, people would ask for you or asked by you, like, hey, could you ship this back to Nigeria or ship it to Canada? Like, what would you say were the most common goods or the common product that you heard or people came up to you and asked about? Maybe it was like if they were like curious about, like, could I ship this, or like, I want this shipped over.
Right. I think that, based on like statistics, of course, over the years, we find that a lot of people like to, for example, send things that are like electronics, gadgets, like for example, when the new iPhones come out, people want to be the first to lay their hands on it and then send it back to Nigeria. Laptops, perfumes, those are the kind of things that I find that a lot of people that are living in Canada want to send back to Nigeria. And some, of course, some fashion, yeah, household things. But I think the top of the list will be things like the gadgets, phones, laptop, electronics like PS5, things like that. A lot of people like to send those things back because they are not like the way we get access to things in Canada is not as fast in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're able to buy, like for example, the iPhone 16 that just came out, I think I'm not like, of course, I'm sure it to be available in Nigeria, but it could be maybe almost double the price, and maybe it's like limited stores that would have it. But if I live in Canada, I can easily go line up at the Apple store and get it, right? And then I have it. But sometimes people send personal shopping requests for things like that, like, oh, can you help me get this thing? Once it comes out, you're the first to get it. And of course, the other side of the equation, a lot of people that live in Nigeria or people that are here, they always request things like spices, our food, our condiments and things like that is of course the most requested things that people ask for, because sometimes we do have African stores here, but there are some kind of ingredients that are very peculiar to Nigerian foods that might not be readily accessible here in Canada.
Yeah, I find that very true too. It's like there's certain things or certain, like, services or products that you're able to get in Nigeria or in Canada that you couldn't get vice versa. And I think it's important to kind of acknowledge that, especially like the spices. It's like Canada, like, I feel Canada in general is just hard to find stuff in period.
I agree
Maybe
with you on that one.
it's just like like I'm talking about, like, you could just go shopping and it's like I'm trying to find some clothes or like even just buy some food, and like it just feels like I'm running in circles. Like, what are we doing?
I know the fashion is something else, but I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, but I feel like, again, what you're doing with the Canada Plug is a very good like middle gateway, and I think that's really great because, again, there could be people living in Nigeria who probably want to get their hands on certain things from Canada that they couldn't do like where they're living, and even like you mentioned before, like the shipping process. Like, I understand even like getting stuff to Canada is like it can be stressful because sometimes even if you're just traveling and you're having to go through like the airport, or like let's say you're traveling and you have to go through like security and everything like that, like here in Canada, like they're very thorough, sometimes a little too thorough. It's like, oh, like you can't bring this across the border, and it's like, but why? It's just like, oh, like this is just for the safety and matters of this. So I mean, like,
Look, that thing is one of the most annoying things, but it is what it is. The border
mm,
services, most times you're not able to bring in some items, but at least we already let clients know, because it's important that people are informed so that those things are not confiscated or seized by the airport authorities. So we always let our clients know what is expected of them.
yeah, I think that's super important. A follow-up question I actually did want to ask as well is like, how does the process kind of work at the beginning? Is this something where people go to a website and probably get an inquiry from yourself, or do you have to fill out a form? Is it a phone call? Then eventually there's a certain stage of it where, the goods and the products are starting to be kind of like shipped out. Like, how does it kind of work step by step?
Well, I would say all of the above, everything you just said. But I think that our process is pretty straightforward. Most times people call, sometimes they go on the website and fill like an inquiry form. We also have like WhatsApp channel, because like WhatsApp is like the easiest means of communication I find between Nigeria and Canada.
Oh, definitely.
So people are able to call directly and ask questions. So yeah, once you do that, then you're able to bring the items to either our offices here, like in Ontario, or in Montreal, or in Calgary. So we do have like shipping partners in Calgary and Edmonton. So people are able to drop their items off there. Then in Nigeria, our drop off or pickup point is in Lagos for now. So we only do Lagos. However, we like service like the other 36 states in Nigeria, but the drop off or pickup point would be Lagos. So they can ship to the Lagos office and have it sent over. And when things arrive in Lagos as well, we actually do local deliveries through like some of our delivery partners or companies to their doorstep wherever they are in Nigeria.
Oh wow. So it's kind of like, you have that little extra accessibility factor. It's like, hey, we could just
Yes, like we're like from the store to your doorstep. That's how we operate.
I love that. I love that. It kind of, reduces, any necessary steps for the person who needs to receive the goods. So that's good. And like obviously, like you mentioned, WhatsApp is a great communication. If there's one thing I know for any Caribbeans or Nigerians, WhatsApp is literally their platform. I'm being serious. I can text people on WhatsApp that are here in Toronto. You won't hear an answer for days. If I were to text someone who's like living in Jamaica, Nigeria, immediate, like they're on the go. It's just
Like, no jokes. WhatsApp has saved lives, relationships, and so on.
yeah, I mean, listen, I love that, and I mean, again, it goes to show some of the amazing work that you're doing. I want to ask another question, but again, for people who are just hopping on, you're listening to the Safe Room here on Love Bay Radio. We're here with our guest Abby, who is the founder of the Canada Plug. It's also the host of the Leading Ladies Connect conference. We talked about Leading Ladies Connect, and we talked about how it got started, some of the amazing work that they're doing as a community. And we were recently just talking about the Canada Plug, kind of breaking down the processes of, different products being shipped from Canada to Nigeria and Nigeria to Canada. But the next question I wanted to get onto, Abby, is do you notice a difference of the lifestyle between like, Nigerians living in Canada and how they may be able to access or maybe not access certain resources to support themselves and their families?
Absolutely. It is so different that the difference is like day to night. In Nigeria, we're very communal in our living. People know their neighbors, people have childhood friends, people have, family gatherings, whether it's formal or informal. Like you can just, go to your friends or your parents. But I find that here, it's a lot more structured. Like people are very detached. Some of the things that I experienced when I moved here, which was kind of like shocking to me. Sometimes you hear people say things like, oh, they haven't spoken to their parents in years. And I'm like, how? Why?
No comment on my end.
So, I mean, those kind of things are kind of shocking to like newcomers. But I feel like, of course, the access to resources here is way better than Nigeria. I wouldn't even lie. Like healthcare, for example, is like really, really great. In Nigeria, of course, there's access to healthcare, but I can almost say like, the way everybody here can go to the hospital. Most people in Nigeria, sometimes you find like people cannot even afford to actually pay to be in the hospital, right? So those are like some of the differences that I find that are like, you know, I mean, I love both places, but I think that, there are a lot of things that actually make each place has its pros and cons, if I would say it like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And again, it's basically based on like just how both societies kind of work differently. Again, like in Nigeria, like you mentioned, it's more communal where like everyone knows each other. Again, like I mentioned, it's kind of like a village. Everyone is very connected with each other, whereas in Canada, it's a little bit more structured, and everyone here is just kind of like go, go, go. So sometimes they may not have the time to pause and actually like take things in. Like you mentioned the whole neighbor statement. Like I feel like there's a lot of people not connect with their neighbors so much. Not to say that they don't want to, but it's just like just the world that we live in, the country we live in. It's just you don't really take the time to really think about. Say, hey, let me say hi to my neighbor, and like that's a small
You know
thing,
the
but
funny thing, when you even try to say hi to the neighbor, sometimes they're like, "What is wrong with?" They give you like this look of "What is wrong with you?" Like, why are you weird? Because like when I
mm,
first moved here, I mean, and I'm still like that anyways. Like my personality is very bubbly, so like regardless of how you act, I will still behave the way I want to, which is like, "Hey, hi," it's like they like rolling their eyes at you like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? So, but like,
yeah, yeah. No,
living in a condo building for 4 years, I literally didn't know anybody in my building, and there were over 100 apartment units there, and it was just crazy. Like, I just kept thinking, like, it's just so different here that it's possible that you might just continue to live, eat, sleep, go to work, come back, and just repeat that for years.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, like, yeah, it's something that I feel I wish that type of like behavioral trait changes over time, but I mean, I don't think it will. I mean, listen, the last time I went to the Caribbean, everyone was saying good morning to each other, which was great. It was a cultural shock to me because I was like, I don't hear none of this in Canada. Like,
Yeah.
literally, even when like you bump into someone in the streets, like sometimes you'll get a sorry, other times you'll just walk right by and not even say a word. Like that's what
Honestly.
we've been accustomed to that. But I mean, it's so important to kind of look at the different views, the different lifestyles. And again, you mentioned accessibility. Like when you're in Canada, yes, for a lot of Nigerians, they may have better accessibility, to certain resources in Canada. And I think that's super important. And like, do you feel like if you had the chance, maybe with the Canada plug, seeing where it's going right now, what would be again maybe a goal you have in mind or something of an idea or an initiative that you would like to extend to help out those in Nigeria even more when it comes to like shipping products?
Well, I would take the question from another side because, like, for example, we already kind of do even outside shipping right now. We offer services that are outside shipping and maybe cargo or air cargo or sea cargo services. We're helping, like, of course, doing some sort of consultancy with like registered RCICs to help people that want to move here from Nigeria, maybe for school or they want to apply for permanent residence and so on, because I feel like there's just so much that we can actually do to give back to especially people that are back home in Nigeria, whether it's access to information, opportunities that could like, help them improve their lives as well. And also fostering like a sense of belonging as well. And of course the bit of community as well. So we're doing that. Of course, it's not as popular as our service that is shipping, but we're beginning to introduce that as well to help people know that okay, we can help because like since I've moved here, maybe like I can't even count how many people have asked me, look, oh, how can I move to Canada? Or what are the opportunities there for me? And so on. So yeah, we're doing that and hoping to expand that. Like I host a lot of free sessions for people to learn about like what pathways they could, take to actually come to Canada for a better, life or, even improve themselves, maybe like through education and so on.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that so much. Okay. I did have one final question and I kind of want to do a little activity component to kind of wrap things up. So my final question is how would you, I guess, or better yet, I'll probably say this. What would you say to someone who is probably finding your page, finding Leading Ladies Connect for the first time, or even finding the Canada Plug for the first time, and they want to, learn more. They want to get to know more about what you do, how you help female entrepreneurs, how you help those in Nigeria and even help those here in Canada as well. Like, what is something that you would say as like your, I guess, your opening pitch, your elevated pitch in a way, in terms of like getting across what Lead and Ladies Connect is, what Canada Plug is, what the work that you do to someone who probably doesn't know what you've done or meeting you for the first time?
Well, I would always introduce myself first, of course, and then what we do at the Little Ladies Connect, basically in one sentence, is we connect women to opportunities, to each other, and to God as well. Because I'm very big on my faith, and of course, I can't take God out of anything that I do or say. This is why I created the Leading Ladies Connect, and I always invite as many women to come on board with us, because there's so many things that we can do together. We can build community, we can collaborate on projects, businesses. People have found, like, people who invest in their businesses in the community, they found business partners, they found like opportunities to win grants, because like every grant opportunity that I have, I share it, right? So those are the kind of things that I like to do. I like to help people. I like to create opportunities for them to actually grow and be better. So yes, you're welcome to join us. And if you want to learn more about like what we do, of course, on Instagram, we are at Leading Ladies Connect. And we do have a website. It's www.leadingladiesconnect.com. So you can learn more about our initiatives, how you can be part of the community. I think the website also leads you to our Instagram page as well. So yeah, you're welcome. And it's always good to have so many women, come together to do great stuff. And for the Canada Plug, our website is www.canadaplug.com. For anyone who is listening, maybe they're interested in doing business in Nigeria, or they live here and they want to send things or receive things from Nigeria.
All right. For those listening, I hope you had your notepads down and you wrote
I
down.
know. I think I was speaking too fast.
No, no, listen. If they missed it, then I'll just ask you to repeat it at the end. So don't worry. But listen, if y'all at least don't go check out the website, I think we have a problem. I don't know if you guys are really about the. I don't know if you guys are really connected with the guests I bring. Then that's, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I mean, definitely go check out some of the work that Abby's doing. Fantastic work. But before we wrap things up, I mentioned I kind of want to do something a little bit on the funner side. So I have two activities. I'm just pulling them up on my phone right now. So the first one I have, I don't know if you heard of this game, but it's like 15 words or less. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so what I have here is a list of names, list of nouns, things, and basically your job is to guess, these things, these nouns, these certain things. But this is a team game. This is the first time I'm trying something like this, so there's a lot of pressure on me as well. I'm a little nervous on my end.
No pressure, no pressure.
My job is that you have to name these things, and I have to basically give you hints. But I only have 15 words to spare. So, for example, let's say like we're using this example like a remote, right?
Right.
So let's say like you're supposed to say I'm supposed to get you to say remote, right? But I have to make sure, okay, if I have to explain this to Abby, I can't use more than 15 words. So I might say something like television. And then you'll see like, okay, television. Okay, what's he talking about? Is it like, what's it, a show? Like, okay, something different. Okay. Battery. Television, battery, It's kind of like putting the words together to figure out what the actual thing is.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, like if we butcher this, it's okay. It's a new concept. How about we try like one round and maybe we can go through the actual list, okay?
All right.
Yeah, so let me just make sure I pull this up again. I have everything lost in my notes. See, this is why you have to come prepared, guys. Okay. All right. So this is a test run. This is a test run, right? Okay. So
go for it. Don't worry. No pressure.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna list out some words. This is the actual thing, but I'm gonna list out some words that you have to figure out what word or what thing I'm referring to. Okay, and again, I can't go over 15 words, so I have to be careful what I say. Okay. All right. So to start off, we have hot.
Pot?
Yes,
Like a
that's
cooking pot?
no. No, not a cooking pot. Okay, okay, hot. That's one word I've used. Okay, hot.
Hot.
Sun. Sun. Hot sun.
Temperature?
Oh, that's you're getting close. Okay, okay. Oh man, I'm stumped. Okay. Okay, okay. I got it. Beach. Hot summer beach. Okay, I've used 3 words already. Okay. Hot summer beach.
Oh my God.
Hot sun beach.
Hot sun beach. Oh my God. I said temperature.
Well, it's
What?
not that.
Sunscreen.
It's not sunscreen. You're again. You're in the right realm. Okay, just stay with me. Okay. How about this? Seasons. Hot, sun, beach,
Summer?
season. There we go. Summer. Summer. Yeah, that was rough. That was tough.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so that was a test run. So now we're gonna do the actual thing. So this is gonna be funny because we have five
Oh
things
my
in this
God.
list. So we have to see how much we can get before I get to up to 15 words or 15, you know?
Mm,
Okay, so we're gonna try this. So I believe in us. You know, I believe we can get it done.
I believe in you too. So yeah,
Okay.
let's do this.
All right, here we go. So Disney.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one. Disney. Anything coming into mind? Disney.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I had I figured I probably wouldn't do it off the first word. Okay. Playhouse.
Mm.
Disney. Playhouse.
Mickey Mouse.
There we go. There we go. Okay, that's one. That's one. Okay, I've used 2 words. We have 4 more to get, and I have 13 words to spare. Okay,
Oh
this
my God.
okay. This second one's hard. Oh boy. Um. Okay, I'm gonna try to spare. I'm gonna use 2 words. Board game.
Mm-hmm.
Board game. Anything coming to mind?
Chess.
It's not chess. Okay. All right. I said board game already. Okay, so that's 4 words. Word play. I'm assuming that's 1 word. Word play.
Wordplay is 2 words, but okay.
Are we really counting as 2 words? I feel like word play. That's like
Oh my God. Puzzle.
puzzle. Ooh, it's not puzzle. Dang, I don't know what to.
Oh my God. There's something coming
Oh,
to my mind. The words are just,
because
oh
like
dear.
okay, just think what I said. Board game, word play. I'm trying to think. I'm blanking out. No, I need to figure out what I need to say. Oh my gosh. Oh, I think we might. Oh no, I'm blanking out, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Okay, okay. So board game, wordplay, brain. I'm gonna say brain. Try to put those together. Hopefully, like
Word
board game,
game.
wordplay, brain.
Debate.
Debate. Okay, we're getting further away from the puzzle. Okay, we have to get. Okay, all right, all right. I gotta lock in. I gotta lock in. Oh my goodness. What's the great? I don't know how to describe this. Because I here's the thing. I've played this game before, but I don't know how to actually describe it. How much words have I said so far?
Is it Sadoku?
It's not. It's not that. I'll give you a hint.
Monopoly.
It's not Monopoly. Just
Oh
just
my
keep
God.
guessing. Keep guessing board games, and maybe you'll get something. Because I'm literally stuck.
Oh my God. Oh dear. I'm just thinking like what other words are coming to mind.
You know what? I'll give you a hint because I don't want to be stuck here for like another 30 minutes. You said Sudoku. It does start with an S.
um
So I said board game, I said wordplay, and I said brain. So like think about it. Like what's one game that involves like you're having to use your brain? Like you have to like use your intelligence.
oh my God.
It starts with an S.
Oh dear Lord.
Do you know what? Do you want to skip it? We can skip it.
Let me know what the answer is.
I was trying to. It was Scrabble, like Scrabble.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't know how to
known Scrabble.
I didn't know how to describe. Okay, you know what? We're 1 for 2, guys. We'll rebound. Okay, I think I said 7 words. I have 8 words left to share. Okay, this one should be easy. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Scam.
Scam. Okay.
Okay. Nothing's coming to mind.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Money.
Scam money. Oh wow. Scam money. Fraud?
Not fraud. Okay. Machine.
Scam money.
Machine. So I think that's 10 words. Oh boy. I thought you would have probably got it actually after money. I was like, okay, she might get it after this one.
Scam fraud money machine. ATM.
Oh, you're okay. You're close. You're so close. Oh man. Could you think of anything else? Like, I'm trying to save my words. We're at 10 words.
Oh my God.
But you're in the right ballpark. ATM. You're in the right ballpark.
Yay. Oh my God.
Think about like what an ATM is used for, or like what you may use like for an ATM. Like think about that, like the usage of it.
To take money.
I said money as like a hint. It's not money. Like that's not the word, but like I said scam, I said money, and I said machine.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Oh man.
Oh my God. I hate saying I don't know, but honestly, I'm already kind of like I'm just trying to think.
Should we probably just move on to the next one, actually? Or you want to give it a try? I mean,
credit card.
Yes, it's credit card. Oh yes.
Oh my God.
We got it. Okay, 2 for 3. Okay, we have 5 words left and 2 more to guess. Oh boy, this is not gonna be okay. Let's make this quick. Actually, you know what? Let's do one more. Let's do one more.
Right.
Actually, McDonald's.
Okay.
Okay, I think that you were gonna probably get that. Okay, McDonald's. Now, chicken.
Right.
Anything.
McDonald's chicken. Burger?
Not okay. Not burger.
Nuggets.
There we go. There we go. That was the easiest one. That was the easiest one. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 3 for 4. We didn't do that bad.
Oh yeah, we did well.
All
That was
right.
a good goal. Good
Yes,
call.
yes. Well, that's all I have for today. Abby, thank you so much for coming on the Safe Room. We appreciate your time, the knowledge you shared. You were absolutely awesome as a guest, and we would love to have you back in the future. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Sean, for making
Y-
this happen. And I hope that, we get to collaborate more and have more guests on your show as well from our community.
Yeah, definitely. So, quickly again, tell people where they can find you, where they can find Leading Ladies Connect, and where people can find the Canada Plug.
Of course, please go on our website. It's www.leadingladies.com, leadingladiesconnect.com. And for the Canada plug is www.canadaplug.com.
Perfect, perfect. And for people listening, thank you for listening to another conversation here on the Safe Room on Love Bay Radio. You can find us on Instagram at the Safe Room Official. If you want to follow me personally, you can now follow me at the president of TO. TO stands for Toronto, if you
Come
didn't
on,
know.
President.
And if you guys actually want to get in tap with my new service that I recently launched with a pop-up studio here in Toronto, our video business plan, then you can head to our website, thesaferoom.ca, so you can book a basically a pre-shoot call with us, and we can discuss how we can help put your business plan in video format. So
Hi,
if you're
ladies.
interested,
Good evening.
so yeah, we will definitely see you guys
Sorry
next
about
time.
this. I'm
But
just
until
on
then,
another
we will
call.
see you back
Well, not
next
another
week
call. I was on a
to
radio
your
interview. I was
favorite
just trying to finish
podcast, your
it.
favorite show on Love Bay Radio.
Hi, Dorcas. Hi,